Anybody tell me why we die, we die. Say, I don't wanna die. Hold on. Hold on. Oh. Cause I'm gonna miss I don't even know what to fucking do right now. Yo. What's good? Watch me have like 19 million problems with the lighting. Immediately off rip. Cause that's how we roll. Hey, what's going on, beautiful people? We are about to get into the festivities. I'm having a good day. I don't like where my other streaming friends stream when I stream. It's just rude and it's just not nice. What's going on, beautiful people? How y'all doing today? Is everyone well? We just got to get started. That Zoom call had to have been the best shit I've ever seen. I can't even believe that was real life. That was, yeah, that was probably one of the funnier Zooms I've seen in forever. And the fact that that was real, that was crazy. All right, let's get into today's show. If you are watching, you can't hear the music, so you got to go listen to it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and things of that nature. I always forget this damn command. Shout out Tiger Woods. We're recording for the podcast, talk show, and all the good stuff. I have no intro. I have none. Like, intro game today is weak. So let's get into it and let's see what we manage out of today's show. I'm having a rough day. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Sometimes there's good days in racing and there's bad days in racing. Today was a bad day. If you're watching, you can't hear the music. You gotta head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify to listen to the music when the show starts. YouTube doesn't let us play music, so just bear with us if you're watching. Bear with us. Hey, Willie Falcone talking that shit. He's talking that shit. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Go pick up that new Rick Ross. It's Kasabian. Kasabian Lavoe wine. What's going on, beautiful people? My name's Kasabian Lavoe. Welcome back to the Kasabian Lavoe Show, live from Las Vegas. This is episode 266, I believe. 266, live from Las Vegas. My name's Kasabian. I'll be your host with talent on loan from God. And we have another good episode, I think. But before we start, Mondays is when we do mental health. Wednesdays, I'm usually hoping that the mood is a little lighter, but I ain't gonna front. It's been a rough, long fucking day. And it's okay to not be okay. I know it doesn't make any sense why you feel this way, but it's okay. It just sucks. It really sucks. Like, dealing with mental health issues is probably one of the harder silent things that a person has to deal with. And I'm just letting you know that I understand we're not as crazy as they make us seem. It's not crazy at all. We're just different. And I'm here for you. And it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. Like, shit, damn. All right. With that being as heavy as all hell, I didn't want to start so damn heavy, but that's where we are. It's been a weird, like, we taking off over there on TikTok. So shout out to TikTok. It was like 350 followers now. Like, we're literally doing like 100 a day or something. That's dope. Shout out to all of them out there. The engagement is dope. There's a lot of people out there. That shit is fun. It's you getting appreciation for putting in hard work. Like, we've been working on the show for 3 years, trying to, figure it out. We've changed a lot of things. We keep on adjusting, and it'll keep on it'll forever change and always adjust. But it's definitely been a long 3 years of trying to figure out where we're headed with it. And I think I'm there. You know, I think I figured it out. And I always say we, but it's me. This thing changed a lot, and it'll keep on changing. But I think we're in a good spot. And TikTok just they kind of validate that. It's definitely a good thing. I have no idea what's happening with the new Streamlabs desktop. I don't get it. It's so strange. Totally strange. All right, today we'll be talking about this Zoom phone call heard around the world. Now, listen, if you didn't see it, don't worry, because it's all over TikTok and it's on YouTube, and this guy is fucking hilarious. We'll get into that. Tiger Woods, it was pretty dope to see him out and about with his son at the PNC Championship. I mean, he was in a car accident about, a year ago now? It's been a year. And he looked good. He looked like he was having a good time with his son. That was dope to see. There was 40 earthquakes off the coast, the Pacific coast. If that doesn't scare you, I'll scare you. I'm going to ruin your day. Kellogg's strike has finally come to an end. But was it a good thing? We'll definitely find out. And have you guys heard of this at-home work hacks? Like when you work from home, these little hacks they got to like keep the mouse awake so that it doesn't say that you're not at your desk. That's pretty dope, right? That's why that Zoom call happened and everybody got fired. And the last story is a real estate story, which I definitely want to tell because I find this, sickening and appalling. The fact that a black couple was appraised at a lower value because of their race is beyond me and unacceptable. And as a real estate agent, as a realtor, honestly, I'm disappointed because it's the year 2021. What are you doing? Can somebody explain? Hold on, y'all. I have no fucking clue. No. Okay, this BetterHelp story is great. This guy's a CEO at better.com. I don't know what's going on at better.com, but nonetheless, they had a Zoom phone call with all their employees, and some of the employees decided to film the Zoom call. During the Zoom call, it starts off pretty weird. He's basically like, things aren't doing too well. Things are okay, and, we're making it through it. But unfortunately, this is harder for me than it's going to be for y'all. I hate to do this. I've only done this once before. And basically what he was getting down to is I'm firing all of you that are on this phone call. And that's how he ended it. He was like, basically, if you're on this call, you're laid off. And everybody was like, what the fuck? Like, they lost their shit. Rightfully so, right? Like that they didn't. It wasn't like you had a 30-day or a 2-week or nothing. No, you got a Zoom call, and dude was like, "Man, this sucks. Whew. Well, you're fired, all of you. See ya." It was great. Like he had no remorse either. All that "I'm gonna cry" shit was out the window. That dude was so dry faced. I remember having corporate meetings, and they would do stupid shit like open the banana upside down and tell you that that's the proper way, and cry and tell you stories about bullshit that nobody ever believed. Like, I love real estate stories too. Those are the best, when they tell you that they walk door to door and they call people and it was so this and so that. Man, it never happened. It never happens. It never happens. And now in the age of the internet, try and tell that bullshit story about knocking on doors and blah blah blah. No, this just doesn't happen. Anyway, back to this. My bad. This is fucking hilarious. But, of course, he's remorseful for what he did because, honestly, he's probably the biggest dickhead in the country right now or in the world. The Zoom call really rang around the whole world. And the stories from The Guardian, I think his name is Garg. What a strange, I'm sorry, sir. Garg said that he was sorry for the way I handled the layoffs last week after staff uproar over video call last Wednesday. The 43-year-old added, I failed to show the appropriate amount of respect and appreciation for the individuals who were affected for their contributions to Better. I owned the decision to do the layoffs, but I communicated it in a blunder and wait. It's not for you to say that it was a blunder. Let's just keep it a buck. That would mean that it was like a oops, like my bad, I fucked up. No, it was beyond a blunder. Like he definitely dropped the ball. Did anybody say, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that? Like nobody ran over there and said, hey, maybe you should send out letters or call everybody one by one. I understand it's 900 people, but over a Zoom call, dog, you are sick. But welcome to 2021, right? Like this is it. This is how we get fired now. They don't do mass layoffs. I've been a part of a mass layoff. That shit is not fun. And it was around the holiday season. It always happens around the holiday season with these companies. They can't figure out a better time to get rid of you. And Zoom might probably be the most disrespectful way to ever get fired. And Gage or Grage, Garage, whatever your name is, bro. Yo, you get the nasty word for the week. That's insane. Like, you're gonna Zoom call everybody in the morning, like, yo, good morning. He's all happy and shit. What's popping? I'm introduce myself. He's like, I'm the boss. Everybody take a seat. Everybody look comfortable as fuck. Boom, you all fired 5 minutes later. Like, he got right into it. He gets the nasty word for sure. For sure. What else we getting into? Okay, I live in Vegas, and we have the San Andreas fault line right next to us. So us and Californians have a lot to worry about when people start talking about earthquakes and people start talking about volcanoes going off in the Pacific. If you don't know what the Ring of Fire is, Google it. We won't get into the Ring of Fire right now, and we won't get into all the crazy tsunamis right now. Nonetheless, the story will touch on it. I gotta stop saying nonetheless because I don't know the less, and I don't know if it's none of the less. Anyway, that's besides the point. It's okay. So the Earth has tectonic plates. Like, if most of y'all don't know that, we'll have that conversation real fast. So the Earth is on moving plates. Those plates shift, causing earthquakes. Sometimes they're like pimples, and they go and they spit up lava, and that lava's really fucking hot, and it makes more land. It's the only time there's more land. The one thing that there isn't in this entire world is more land, except in Hawaii. That's literally made from volcanoes, and it's created more land. But that's the one scarcity that we can't get back. Bingo. Okay, the chat is on it. All right, chat. That's what's up. Boom, Ring of Fire. So the Ring of Fire is in the Pacific. Hawaii is involved in that, where my son is, so it worries the shit out of me because he's literally in the middle of the ocean. And then the coastal effect of what can happen if the Ring of Fire goes off. Like, they've told these stories that when the Ring of Fire sets off, we're going to have crazy earthquakes, all the volcanoes crack off, and then a tsunami will ensue that will basically drop California off the edge of the United States. Like, it can happen. It's not a maybe, and it's not a how. It's more of a when. So, we haven't had volcanoes going off in quite some time, so that always worries them. We've had a few start sparking off, but yesterday something pretty scary happened. Over 40 earthquakes. 40 earthquakes. It didn't hit land. It was in the middle of the ocean, but 40 earthquakes. Holy shit. Let's get into the story from CNN. And we'll see if we can get some, man, okay. There's a movie, I want to say it's on Netflix. It's a doc about the giant tsunamis. I don't know if y'all know how those giant tsunamis happen, where basically because of earthquakes, the giant chunks of earth fall into the water, and then the water goes, splashes back, and then boom, hits and floods everything. The doc is crazy because the town, the town that this happened in was in Portland. I believe Portland. I can't remember. I know it's a doc, though. There's a doc about the mega tsunamis. And if it's not a doc about mega tsunamis, I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. So look up the mega tsunami doc that happened here. Like, this shit really happened. All the trees were pushed one way. This giant, like, basically the face of a mountain fell off, and it caused a giant wave to crash into a crest town. And it basically leveled the entire town, got trees literally pointing in the direction of how hard the wave hit them. Dope as shit. Crazy history, super science. I'm a nerd. Haven't y'all noticed that shit already? Like, I'm a geek, bro. Let's get into it. So the story's from CNN. One of North America's most active fault lines sprung into life Tuesday after a swarm of more than 40 earthquakes ranging from magnitude 3.5 to 5.8 rattled off the coast of Oregon, catching the attention and concerns of millions in the region. Why is it going to concern millions? Because this shit is terrifying. Like, that mega tsunami could happen. Those earthquakes mean that stuff is moving under the ocean. And with us not really seeing what's happening, we don't know how severe it is. You know, we'll know that according to the shock waves and whatnot. But that can set off the big one. The series of earthquakes, which began early Tuesday morning and continued into Wednesday, were all clustered between 200 and 250 miles west of the coastal town of Newport, Oregon. Far enough, but mostly undetected on land. But given the area's seismic history, it's creating quite a buzz. Look up that doc. I promise you, it'll fill in a lot of these blanks. It's going to scare the shit out of you, but it puts a lot of this into perspective. Fortunately, according to the United States National Tsunami Warning Center, none of this week's quakes have triggered a tsunami alert. However, the activity has heightened the concern level for some, as the region is among the most earthquake-prone areas in North America and has produced already one of the largest earthquakes in the continental U.S. states on January 26, 1700. The quake occurred on the neighborhood Cascade subdivision zone, a mega thrust fault. Damn. Was it a mega thrust? Wasn't it a mega tsunami? I think it was a mega tsunami. Why are they not calling it that? What am I getting wrong? Appreciate you. I don't get it. So it was a mega tsunami. I'm sticking to that. They had this giant earthquake. I'm telling you, the face of the mountain basically just fell off into the ocean. The ocean shifted. Boom. The whole town got just wiped out. I wish we had visuals. We need visuals for this. So if you live in the Pacific area, California, Oregon, Washington, all my folks in Hawaii, everybody that knows, bro, the San Andreas is terrifying. The Ring of Fire is terrifying. Like, this whole shit is movie shit. Y'all seen the movies with The Rock? This is crazy. You're going to have to jump out the helicopter to save everybody. What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do with earthquakes and volcanoes and shit popping off all at the same time? Earlier this year, we covered the Kellogg story because I was blown away at how much money people make working at Kellogg's, up to $250,000 a year. I hate when businesses say that. Tell me what I'm going to make if I'm brand new coming into your company. Say, hey, man, your first year, you're going to make like $10,000. Let me give you some numbers, like real estate numbers. Real estate is numbers driven. So everything's percentages, everything's how, when, and how much, and they'll break that shit down from the beginning of time till now. In real estate, they tell you your first year, you might crack one deal or two because of your family. Your second year, that's when you really start to catch wind. And in your third year is when you really start to take off because you got less debt for getting started. Your first year is the most expensive year in real estate. Like, it's terrible. So when people go, oh, you can make $1 million in real estate, you can, and you might be one of those few lucky ones that crack $1 million deal right off rip. But to be honest with you, it's very difficult. Real estate's a difficult field. It's not as easy as people make it seem, and it's all about who you know. And in a game like this, honestly, your friends will definitely determine your future. Richard Pena, he always says that, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. I don't have any friends, so obviously I don't have a future. So I'm here with y'all, and I hope that this is a vast future. When Kellogg said that they paid $250,000 a year to bag cereal, bitch, I packed my fucking bags. We was out of here, yo. Are you crazy? I'm doing Frosted Flakes, Corn Flakes, what? $250 a year? Bro, that's the dream. Are you crazy? We get to move to Kentucky and make $250,000 a year? What? Bro, I'll take the night shift. My old lady could take the day shift. That means we taking home $500,000 a year for bagging cereal. It's not even cocaine. It's cereal. How could you go wrong? Look how happy everybody looks in the commercials when they do the Honey Nut Cheerio shit. I wanted to be them. $250 a year? I'd stand there and bag that shit with my eyes. Are you crazy? I do it on my head, bro. So that might not be the case. They might not be paying that much. Besides that, it's union. I'm not fond of unions. But at this point in time, I believe we do need something similar to unions to help workers. And I'm sorry, my chains keep moving, and I see them moving, and my neck hurts from even wearing them. I shouldn't have put them on. Unions are necessary when the employees are being abused. And back in the early 1900s, that was obviously happening all the time, but it seems like we're there again. And although I'm against unions, let me be honest. I'm not against unions. I just don't like how they operate. So yeah, I'm against unions. Fuck it. Like, I'm not here to fucking cape. I don't like what they do. I don't care. I don't think it's a good thing. I think that it's necessary when it's necessary, and it's not necessary all the time. It should be almost like a selective contractual thing. But what do I know? Kellogg's finally solved their strike problem. It's been a couple months, and they're going to fucking wrap this up. So the story comes from Fast Company. Kellogg's has announced that it'll replace 1,400 workers who walked out on strike in November over pay and benefit disputes, reports Reuters. On December 5th, 2 months after the strike began on October 5th, Kellogg workers who were members of the Bakery, Confectionery, Tobacco Working, and Grain Millers International Union, or the BCTGM, voted to reject the latest offer from the company as a union. Wait. I'll finish this. As the union stated, the members have spoken. The strike continues. The international union will continue to provide full support of our striking Kellogg's members. So that $250,000 a year, I'm wondering if that's including benefits. Because if it's including benefits, no thank you. Like, I want $250K, I'll do what I want. With $250K a year, I can take care of myself. Do you understand what I'm saying, y'all? And with a job like that, your taxes are a lot lower than a person who's like an independent contractor or a business person independently. Trust me, you're going to want them to, they take all the liability. This is a dream job. $250 a year and somebody else takes the liability. Bro, you could buy a Cullinan. Check this out. $250 a year, you get a multi-million-dollar house. You start off with going to $1 million house, right? That's your first year working there. You and your old lady making $250 a year. Y'all cracking, that's $500,000. Y'all making $500,000 a year. Y'all bought a house for $1 million. Y'all make half. So why would you buy $1 million house? At $500,000 a year, you would buy a $3 million house. Nah, fuck that. You buy $1 million house and then buy 4 duplexes or 4 fourplexes, right? You only work here for 5 years. Hear me out. You go to Kellogg's for 5 years. That's the problem. You shouldn't be there forever. At $250 a year, me and my old lady could work at Kellogg's for 5 years and leave out of there with $3.5 million. But we could turn that $3.5 million into 20 if we play it right. And they take all the liability. That's the easy part, bro. That's crazy bread. They just don't give you that type of money. And being under the unions and paying fees and shit like this, they don't see it my way. I don't think jobs are supposed to be forever. I think jobs are supposed to be for a short period of time, and then you fuck off. If me and my old lady can crack $3 million, we could buy a $3 million house, flip it for 5, buy 4 or 5 duplexes or more than that, maybe even buy an apartment complex, make residual money for the rest of our lives off of that, buy a bunch of exotic cars, put those up for rent on Toro. We'll make residual money off of that, have multiple vehicles, have electric cars, so that way we get tax incentives. Won't even live in Kentucky. We can come back to Nevada, not pay any taxes, and stack bread, bro. And all we got to do is sacrifice 3 years of bagging cereal. That's it. Bagging cereal. Anyways, back to the story. My bad. But instead of going back to the table for another round of talks on December 7th, Kellogg announced that it has no plans to meet the union. This is great. We're not going to meet with y'all. Fuck y'all. The union again. Additionally, they have no plans to meet the unions again for additional negotiations. Instead, the company will move directly into its contingency plans, replacing all 1,400 striking employees with new permanent positions. The prolonged work stoppage, this was a statement from Kellogg's. The prolonged work stoppage has left us with no choice but to hire permanent replacement employees in positions vacated by striking workers, Kellogg said in a blog post. These are great job positions, and posting for permanent positions help us find qualified people to fill them. Like I said, I believe jobs should be cyclical. You should only work at a place for a couple years and then move on. And if it pays at this level, you don't even need to be there long, and you get to facilitate more people. Let's say you don't get into real estate, but you find something else to invest your money in. At that rate of money, you don't need to work for Kellogg's for more than 4 or 5 years. All right, my boy, appreciate you. Oh, bless up, bless up. Shout out to the chat. I definitely fuck with the chat. This Kellogg story is interesting, and I want to know where else it goes because I still think there's an absurd amount of money to bag cereal. And I'm hooked on the idea that people in the middle of the country are making $500,000, $250,000 a year bagging cereal. Are you crazy? Me, I'll be fucking El Chapo, and my wife will be goddamn Grisetta fucking Blanco, and we'll be bagging up all the Cheerios. You got me fucked up. What else is going on? Okay, so this worker home hack thing. I've worked remote, I guess, forever because we've always built our studios at home and our offices have been from home. The way that we have everything set up, it's just easier that way, right? Especially with what we do. Now, the story comes from Vice, and it's about a lady that used, I guess her name is Leia. She used a mouse mover so that when basically the program that was hooked up to her computer would tell her office when she wasn't moving her mouse, which would put her in basically away mode, which would show that she was away from her desk, leading, showing others that she wasn't there, which would give the impression that she's not doing her job, and because she's at home, she's not on her game. So she got this thing that moves the mouse and keeps it up, and she's just like using it as her trick, I guess, to not be left, as away. Sounds dope, but are you stealing company time? Like, is that what the problem is? Because that's what happened with that Zoom shit. The guy broke down why he fired 900 people, and the breakdown was these guys are clocking in 8 hours of work, but they're only doing 2. So something like this to me looks like a time steal, but it sounds funny and cute, so we can get into the story. But working from home shouldn't be this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think everybody understands that working from home is a little bit easier because you kind of get more done with less pressure, but at the same time, like, with greater power comes great responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit like that. Let's get to the story though. Vice. Leah did not expect her TikTok video about her work from home hack to go viral. She started using a mouse mover, a small device placed under her mouse's computer to keep the cursor active after her job as a business-led and advertising transition to remote work. At the start of the pandemic, her company issued computers set her status to away whenever she stopped moving her cursor or got it from her desk for more than a few seconds. That's crazy. Few seconds is outrageous. And with 3 kids at home who needed help with remote classes during school lockdowns, the little away signal was driving her nuts. Working remotely, your colleagues can't physically see when you get up and go to the bathroom or grab lunch or even take your 30-minute break to reset on the couch, Leah told me. The last thing I wanted during those moments was to be paranoid about what people thought if I was working, especially since I felt like working at home I was working more than ever. See, I don't know if working at home means you working more than ever. I don't know if I find that, and I think that that's cheating. I don't think it's fair that it puts you on a way, though. I think there should be a better way. That's kind of overreach. Like, they should let you pick when you do away. Like, it's an honor system. If you fuck it up, then we're going to have to get rid of you. The last story of today is about an appraisal gone completely wrong. Homes don't have race, sex, gender, religion, nothing. Homes are just sticks, bricks, and shit you live in. The idea that people will treat you different because of the color of your skin or your race or who you are or anything of that nature is ridiculous. As a realtor, we have an oath, we have a duty, and we stand by it. And our code of ethics is one of the strongest in the world. As a matter of fact, we were the first to start a code of ethics, and I'm a part of the National Realtors Association, which that code of ethics began with us and has moved on into doctors, lawyers, and every other field in the world. We started that because we understand that buying a home is the biggest purchase you'll probably make in your entire life. Most people's biggest purchase will be their home. The last thing you want is for somebody to jerk you. Now, when somebody appraises your home, that appraisal sticks. So if somebody gives you a shitty appraisal, you have to understand that there's no way around it. You kind of got to wait the game out. And if it comes in too low, you can fight it, but you have to have real good reason or you had to have made some decent changes. This family had a home in San Francisco, and it seemed to be a beautiful home. They have put upgrades, they have added square footage, they have added money into the home, and when they called for an appraisal to get a refi, they were actually undervalued. They believe they were undervalued because they were black and they had African-American things on their walls, including pictures of their family and just heritage. It was their home. You know, it's decorated. I will say this. For any and every client that I ever work with, the first thing I tell you is depersonalize the home. I don't want to see any pictures. I don't want to see anything on the wall. It's not yours anymore. You got to let it go. Nobody wants to see your family. They're going to walk in and they have to imagine themselves there. They don't want to see you there or your pictures of you being there because that's going to ruin the effect. You want them to go, oh, this could be mine. They don't want to see all your stuff. Trust me. That has nothing to do with appraisal. Appraisal's supposed to go in, look at the structure. They're supposed to look for any defects. They're supposed to look at all, if there was work done. They have to make sure that there's permits. They have to make sure that it did increase value. In that area, if you look at the comps and you saw the home and where it sat, that area showed comps for about $1.5 million at that size. They bought it for $500,000. They put about $400,000 into it, and they were expecting a $1.5 million valuation. Inspection so that they could go take that appraisal. Damn, what is wrong with me? a $1.5 million appraisal so that they could take that to the bank and refi. And I mean, this is a great time to refi. Everything is low right now. You know, percentages are still low. Even though they're creeping up, it doesn't matter. It's a great time to refi and put money in your pocket. This was back in January. Now, the couple's suing this agency for what they've done because it's definitely discriminatory. I'm going to tell you why. This couple's pretty clever on what they did, and actually, I'm glad they did what they did. And these type of companies need to be exposed and held accountable for what they're doing because this is wrong. There's nothing right about this. If an appraiser comes into your home and gives you a lower appraisal because of your race, your sex, your gender, anything, they should be fired immediately and they should never be in this field. You're not wanted here. A home doesn't have, and another thing, there's a part in this story where I'm not okay with, especially as an agent. I don't think I should even say it, but they call it a black neighborhood. There's no such thing in real estate. Sorry, we can't do that. Like, you can't say, hey, where's the Puerto Rican neighborhood or where's the black neighborhood? I can't point you into that direction. That's illegal. You have to find it on your own. All I can tell you is, these are the areas. You can find any statistics that you want online. I can give you all access to the school district. I can show you what schools are in the area. I can give you, local police departments where you can go ask what the areas are like. If you're looking for anything specific, like as a realtor, I can't say this is a great area or this is a bad area. It's illegal. I just can't do it. Because what my good is might not be your good. So when people go, wow, that's a big house, I go, yeah, that's relative. I have 5 kids and they're adults. I need at least 8,000 square feet to live comfortably. To some people, that's big. To some people, that's small. You see what I'm saying? So I can't say, hey, this is a bad neighborhood. This is a good neighborhood. Honestly, I'm a realtor, so I can't tell my clients I feel more comfortable in the hood. But it's true. I feel way safer in the hood. People rob where I live now. They never robbed me in my neighborhood. You crazy? But to each his own. And they don't make 8,000 square foot houses in my old neighborhood. And I ain't trying to live there. But I can't. If somebody said they wanted a house in my old neighborhood, guess what? This house right here has everything you want. You were looking for a house? Here's a house. You were looking for 2 floors? Here's 2 floors. You were looking for rooms, some walls, some windows. There it is. There's tons of natural lighting. Great neighborhood. That's not something that we have to emphasize on, and it's not a thing. It's just not a thing. It doesn't change it. The value of the house is the value of the house, and some neighborhoods have lower values because of location. That's the key to real estate. Location, location, location. Stories from Newsweek. A California couple are suing Janet Miller, a real estate appraisal, alleging that she gave them a lowball valuation on their home because they're black. Tanisha Tate Austin and her husband Paul Austin and the nonprofit Fair Housing Advocates of Northern California filed the lawsuit in federal district court on December 2nd. The suit lists Miller and her company, Miller and Perotti Real Estate Appraisals, as well as appraisal management company AMC Links as defendants. According to the lawsuit, the Austins and their children moved into their 4-bedroom home in Marin County after purchasing it for $550,000 in December of 2016. They sought to refi their mortgage last year, having spent thousands of dollars on renovating that increased the square footage of the home, upgraded the kitchen, upgraded the bathroom, and redesigned the interior. But the couple were surprised by Miller, hired through AMC Links, concluding that the market value of the home in the San Francisco Bay Area was $995,000 after inspecting it January 2020, a figure that was far lower than earlier appraisals. According to the lawsuit, they specified their race and their racial demographics of the area had played a role in Miller's estimate. See, this is where it scares me, because saying that the area, you're making the area have a race. We can't do that. That's not a thing. If the area is a bad area due to, and I can't even say bad area, excuse me, but if the area has less value for whatever the reason is, it could just be amenities. It could be how close it is to stores. It could be because of the view. It could be because of traffic. I live in a neighborhood where I'm 7 miles away from the closest store. I pay for that quietness. I pay for being away from things. I am very far away from the strip. We have very low lighting in our neighborhood so we could still see the stars. If you live in the city, you can't see stars, right? So I can't say I live in a X type of neighborhood or a Y type of neighborhood. I just live in a nice neighborhood, and all neighborhoods are nice because if you can live there, it's nice. They arranged for a second appraiser to inspect the home 3 weeks later, but this time the Austins erased any evidence of their racial identities in their home. The lawsuit reads, the couple removed any photos and African-themed art and even asked a white friend to pose as the homeowner. That friend put up photos of their own family around the house. The new appraisal was valued at $1.4825. Hold on. There's no way that a couple of pictures and a white couple made this appraisal go up to $1.4 million, almost a $500,000 higher than the Miller's estimate. Now, appraisals can come in different depending on the appraiser. And I mean, this is touchy because you could have went about it a different way. And again, I think maybe call somebody in and do it again. You got to do a trial error because I think we need more information. I want to know why they went this route anyway. It doesn't make any sense that they renovated the house and then asked for, or is this the bank that hired this company to do this? I mean, it wouldn't be, it would, see, this is fucking touchy. We believe that Miss Miller valued our home at a lower rate because of our race and because of our current and historical racial demographics of where our home is located. That's tough, said Paul Austin. The sales comps in the area appraisal, the sales comps in the area the appraiser chose used were unsuitable and were guaranteed to lower the value of our home. That's hard because I mean, an agent can give you an estimate. And if your agent puts you an estimate and shows you what we're like, I'm your agent. You hire me, Kasabian. What's my home valued at? Let's take a look. You know, you got so many square feet. You have so many bedrooms. You have, you know, these views. You got a pool. You got this. You got that. Let's see what in the area. We'll give you a mile radius, and we'll see. You know, that's how we do it here in Vegas. Half mile radius. We can usually compare about 15, 20 houses that are actually, you know, in action. Houses that are selling, houses that have been sold, closed. We're really hot here, so it's like it's easy to really compare. And if not, it's not hard to give a decent idea of what a home's value is by showing comps in the area. Like it's fairly simple to pull a couple comps, and especially nearby. Like your home can't be that weird. For example, I'm gonna finish this story and then we'll talk about the McBroom story because I think that story kind of ties in it. Well, let's finish this. Miller's company based in San Rafael has been doing appraisals in the region for over 30 years, according to the website. We provide appraisals for lenders, brokers, AMCs, attorneys, accountants, realtors, and homeowners. My nose is stuffy. The website states the Austins are seeking damages and asking the court to order the defendants to stop engaging in discriminatory housing practices. The couple did manage to get a loan based on a second appraisal in March 2020, but they say they were not able to refinance on the more favorable terms that had been available earlier. We missed out on a better interest rate because of the unfair appraisal we received, and to prove that our civil rights have been violated, we had to erase who we were by having our white friends pose as homeowners and hiding this is crazy and hiding the things in our home that represent who we are. That was from Miss Tate Austin. Even worse, the discriminatory practices have the effect of lowering property values. And okay, I can't make that blanket statement. I don't care if it's in quotations. Yes, if it's discriminatory and they're doing this against people that are POC, people of color, Spanish people, black people, Asian people, if they're discriminating on any type of people just because of their race, that's wrong. Illegal and wrong and frowned upon, and we're not okay with that. So that firm, I hope they do get shut down or get better investigated. And I want more information. I think we need more information. Now, the reason why I say that the McBroom story can help tell this story a little better, here's a good idea, right? You never buy a house and like go crazy on it. I was selling a home and the homeowner added 1,000 square feet with no permit. They didn't hire contractors. They did it themselves. It wasn't even on the blueprints. They go, yeah, we have a whole nother house on the house. And I said, what do you mean you have a house on a house? They thought that their house was now going to be worth $1 million because they added a whole nother chunk of the house to the house. That's not how that works. You have to go through the proper channels to do these upgrades in your home. And I wouldn't even recommend doing any type of serious upgrades without hiring a contractor that knows what they're doing so that when the city comes for inspection, you can pass inspection. So that when it comes time to have appraisal, you know that you have nothing to worry about because the work was done professionally, it's insured, and you get a guarantee. Like that to me, I'm always going to pay for my guarantee and for my security. California is a different market. California has a lot of things that I don't understand, but as an agent, I'm not okay with how this went down. I think they should have had an agent even though they were just going for a refi. I would always speak to a realtor because they can put you in the hands of a good loan officer that can help you refi. This is a great time to refi. Like I would recommend everybody look for refis right now. The market is still good for refis. Now, the reason why I said I wanted to bring up the McBrooms, if you know their story, they took 2 houses, made them 1, and then that was valued at $10 million. I believe the houses were like $1.5 million a piece, but because they wanted a giant house on a hill, they combined the houses, turned into like a mega mansion in a neighborhood where the most expensive house was like $1.5 million or $1.6 million. If you build a $10 million house in a $1 million neighborhood, you might not get your money back. Like, there's no way that you're going to be able to justify that. You're going to be able to sell more single family homes than you're going to be able to sell a 10,000 square foot mansion. It just doesn't happen. Not everybody has that type of money, right? You're going to catch more $300,000 sales than $1 million sales. Although California's market is a lot crazier than our market, price wise, it really isn't. Like, it's all relative to the area. And them building two houses into one in an area where the home values aren't even that high, were shooting themselves in the foot, and they overpaid for the work. So that appraisal should have never come in. Like, they should go over there, appraise that house, and be like, this shit is worthless. This has no value to it. It's just a giant box in the middle of this nice neighborhood. That happens. Like, people, like, that's why HOAs are not that bad. And if you don't have an HOA, trust me, they're not that bad. This story is terrible, though. I hope that they definitely get all this taken care of, and I would really like to see this investigated a lot more, because this is very heinous, and in 2021 or 2020, I don't think we should accept this at all. From nobody and anywhere. And with that, I'm going to go play video games with my friends. My name is Kasabian. Live in the moment, don't live in the past. Be safe, stay dangerous. Lavoe loves you. One.